Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. We are here live. I'm so happy to be here with Steph, the Alter Nerd. And we got an update on the Joe Rogan fiasco, controversy, whatever you want to call it, depending on whether you love or hate Rogan. Look, as I've said previously, you can choose not to watch him, right? You can choose not to accept his apology. These are all rights that I think you absolutely have the right to do. I don't like some of the stuff he said. However, I do believe like he said some things there to, apologies and remorse and showed remorse that I'm okay with it. It's not really my apology to accept given some of the things he said, but I appreciate that he actually apologized. Some people, Steph, are saying he shouldn't have apologized. Now, before we get to Joe Rogan's clip, he did a stand-up show, and we have an article that they had no phones and stuff when he does these shows, so there's no video of this, but we have some articles, some news reporters who were there sort of did summaries of it. Before we get, though, to what he said, it's interesting because there's been a lot of I know you sort of said it, too, to an extent of, you were more, not to speak for you, but you were more like, don't apologize if you're also then going to put a but and put all these, explanations after the apology, correct?
Correct, yeah.
So, I don't disagree with you at all. In fact, I agree. It's you either apologize or you don't apologize. But anytime you have to go, look, I'm sorry, but I was doing blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's not really the most effective apology. But again, not trying to get this political, I don't care what you think of the man, but he's trying to get some headlines himself again. Save America president. Look at these. I love his headers. It's always like still reminding people, I'm a president. Just to piss people off. He's really good at pissing people off.
Well, I don't say you all, but majority of you lot voted him in. Well, no, actually, it didn't actually secure the majority vote. It was actually through collegiate, wasn't it? Either way, a lot of you dudes and dudettes voted for him, so, there you go.
I didn't, but hey, no comment. I know some people did. I'm not a fan of the guy. I'm not a fan of the guy. Well, anyway, let's not get into why I'm not a fan of the guy. So, I'll respect your choice for who you vote for. How about that? Is that what we can say calmly?
Yeah, we can say that.
There we go. So Joe Rogan, here's the statement from 45th President of the United States. I don't see Obama doing that. I don't see George Bush doing that. I don't see Clinton doing this. It's definitely a weird ego thing. Like, okay, well, whatever. But I think he does this to piss other people off, But he's a good marketer. I gotta give him that credit. Here's the statement from Donald Trump about Joe Rogan. Joe is an interesting and popular guy, but he's got to stop apologizing to the fake news and radical left maniacs and lunatics. How many ways can you say you're sorry? Joe, just go about what you do so well and don't let them make you look weak and frightened. That's not you, and it never will be. Now, look. I gotta say, he's not like totally wrong. It's like, I suspect Joe Rogan's sitting there like, damn, he's right. I probably should, I should have just defended myself. Said I'm not a racist, and I didn't mean to say that. And I'm, he's got some points. I don't always like to give him any points personally, but what do you think of Trump's comment? Does he have a point? He's right about the fact that it's never enough with an apology. Once you start apologizing to the mob that's after you, they don't actually want an apology. They want you to be canceled and removed from society. So the apology usually does nothing to the critics that people like Midas Touch, et cetera, who have proven themselves to be just extremists to no degree. What do you think of this comment, Steph?
To a certain extent, yeah, I can see your point. As you were reading it out, I kind of were like chuckling in my head because I had like Trumpy Boy's voice in my head. And that was an experience. But Trumpy Boy is a polarizing figure, and going around and saying he's got to stop polarizing to the fake news and radical left maniacs and lunatics. Calling them maniacs and lunatics is quite inflammatory. I don't think that's the right way to be communicating with this particular section of society. However, we move on. How many ways can you say you're sorry? Well, to be fair, Trumpy Boy, in terms of this particular, incident of the no word, because that's what this is the apology that we're talking about here. He's only apologized the once. So you turn around and saying, how many words can you say you're sorry? Well, he's only done it the once, Trumpy Boy. And then he says, Joe, just go about what you do so well and don't let them make you look weak and frightened. That's not you, and it never will be. That bit, I take that as basically, you're always going to have haters, but do you? It's your own damn show. It's your name above the door. Invite who you want to invite. Do you have those conversations? And that's it. Which I've always said. I've said that. I agree with that. It's his show. It's his podcast. He can have whoever he wants on. He can discuss whatever he wants to discuss. He can say whatever he wants to say. However, there's consequences to the freedom of speech. But don't don't bow and change for the mob when bowing and changing for the mob that it will never suffice. That will never satisfy them. Like Andy says, when they've got their sights on you and they're raining down holy freaking hell on you, they want you gone. They want you cancelled. They want you out. They don't want, they want you obliterated. So that last bit of Trumpy boys, yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I do think you should apologize when you're wrong, and let's get to what happened because Joe even acknowledged that. And I got again, so we got a lot of the critics out there. I'll do one more thing. The other side of things, you got CNN, who we've exposed as clearly a left-leaning extremist news organization, just like Fox News is a right-wing extremist organization. Web traffic to Spotify's cancellation page spikes as company remains mired in Joe Rogan controversy. Like, they're just trying to keep this going. Like, they want him gone. CNN hates that Joe Rogan's popular. And, how do you know what the cancellations are? Like, what a weird speculative news article for business that they're tracking the cancellation page as if they have any actual insight on this. But, they can claim they do. Here's what it is. It jumped to this much degree. So, therefore, that must mean, the cancellations are 200%. Who knows? But you can just see what the narrative is. There's absolutely they're trying to take him down, and there's a lot of interesting stuff out there. Steph, I've seen it. It was trending over last night. Who was trending last night? R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, all these horrific people that are still on Spotify. Like, I don't understand like this selective outrage. It's frustrating to me. Like, okay, is this the world we're in where we're going to cancel Joe? It's like Whoopi Goldberg. Same thing. Like, okay, well, you canceled Roseanne. You can't then cancel Whoopi Goldberg. Disney, you have clear rules. Follow them for everybody, The selective outrage is what bothers me. And the frustration is like, where are all these people frustrated with all these other people on Spotify? Like, they've done horrific stuff, right? And then you go into the fact of like, why aren't there more? I tweeted it last night. I've seen it all over the web, but like, hello, guilty Maxwell. Like, where are the people standing up to that and Jeffy for years? They just whatever. Like, terrible stuff happens in this society, and we're focused on Joe Rogan right now because of some stupid, ignorant stuff, and yes, racist stuff he said that he apologized for. Like, what are we still talking about this for? I'm frustrated we have to talk about it, but the reason I am is because I think it's important that we point out how the media is continuing to stretch this out, make this a thing, pit us against each other for allowing Joe Rogan to be on Spotify, which to me is just on the issues of things that are happening in our world today is literally like near the bottom of what we should be spending our energy on, at least in my opinion. Now, again, does that mean Joe Rogan didn't say things that are offensive? Yes, I said he did. I have said he did. And that's the beauty of our country. You don't have to support him. You don't have to watch him. You can cancel Spotify. That's the beauty of a free economy, free market, freedom. Do whatever the hell you want, but stop trying to censor him. That's the real issue here. So anyway, so what did Joe say? Let's not keep delaying. Well, he's calling it a hit job. He's saying the attempt to cancel him over the podcast, cancel his podcast, is a hit job. And we got a lot of articles here, as the Hollywood Reporter taints it, mocks his controversies. If you want my advice, don't take my advice. So let's go through. So he was doing an intimate show in Austin, Texas, before a rapturous crowd of fans. The Embattled comic and podcast tackled his controversies, particularly the viral video of the no word. I used to say it as if I was talking about Richard Pryor bit or something. I would say it in context. Somebody made a compilation of every time I said that word over 14 years, and they put it on YouTube, and it turned out that was racist as F. Even to me, and I'm me, and I'm watching it saying, stop saying it. I put my cursor over the video, and I'm like, 4 more minutes? Like, he's making fun of himself and acknowledging the fact, like, Jesus, I shouldn't have said, I don't like that I said this. I haven't used that word in years, but it's kind of weird. People will get really mad if you use that word and tweet about it on a phone that's made by slaves. And then segged into a bit about labor conditions at overseas cell phone factories. He's trying to like, you know, again, there's so many things we could be outraged about, and he's right. Like these big corporations are putting in these factories that are just abhorrent. Now, it's kind of moving the goalpost, but you know, at the same time, he's pointing out the fact that it's selective outrage. Focus on the fact that, yeah, you said something racist, Joe. Just own it. Trevor Noah actually said I wish I could play his bit, but the Comedy Central doesn't allow it. But Trevor Noah went into a really good bit because he's like, look, the no word bit of it, like, okay, whatever. Context, fair. I don't think anyone should say it. It is what it is. But he went off into the Planet of the Apes line, and he like, I feel like he's like, that's just straight out racism. It's like from the what would he call it? Like the ABCs of racism, you know that. It's like, who doesn't know you don't compare, you know, black people to apes? You just don't do it. The fact that he like did that and did it to like impress his friends, like ha ha ha, as a knock, like really bugged him. And then, you know, he went in and like really gave I thought a pretty smart and fair take from his perspective as to why it was problematic and why parts of Joe's apology didn't just own it. Like, he's like, yeah, you said something racist. Just admit it and stop. And then as he did the whole bit, when Joe's like, I've never said a racist thing in my life. I never would. Trevor then replayed this apology and even pointed out, like, Joe Rogan himself admitted when he said that apes line, there's a part near the end where he's like, well, Planet of the Apes is in Africa, so it's really racist what I just said. I shouldn't have said that. And then Trevor Noah's like, exactly, you said it, own it. Let's all acknowledge it and stop trying to, you know, justify why you said it. And I think that's ultimately the core of the issue for me and a lot of people. And I think that's, you know, really the reality to it. So he's still trying to like sort of push it out, but at least he's acknowledging again, he said something that he shouldn't have said. He doesn't want to say it. I think that's at least headway, right? Later, he mocked his other major controversy, the anti-vax information has been discussed on his podcast. I talk shit for a living. That's why this is so baffling to me. If you're taking vaccine advice from me, is that really my fault? What dumb shit were you about to do when my stupid idea sounded better? You know that dude who made people eat animal D's on TV? How does he feel about medicine? If you want my advice, don't take my advice. So he's out there just, again, which is, I think, the reality check of who the hell is taking medical advice from Joe Rogan? This idea that we have to, like, police everybody because they dumb people, I guess is what they're saying. They're calling the viewers of Joe Rogan dumb, and they're saying they have no ability to acknowledge the fact that Joe's not an expert and shouldn't listen to him. And I'm sure there's some of them that do, but at what point do we still like treat adults as children, Steph? I don't get it. Like, if somebody wants to be stupid and take horse dewormers or whatever the hell, okay, then go do something stupid. He's not a medical doctor. He never claimed to be. We should be educating more people to be like, hey, just a reminder, don't take medical advice from Joe Rogan, idiots. To me is the most important message in this misinformation campaign. Just to get through it all, and I want to get your thoughts. During a question and answer portion with fans after the show, Rogan was asked if he would accept $100 million from Rumble, which to me would be a stupid move if he does. Spotify, it's a right-wing platform. Comedian said he was planning to stick with the streamer. No, Spotify has hung in with me inexplicably. Let's see what happens. And that's a telling thing, I think, exactly. Like, he's like, man, they got my back, so I'm not going to ditch him now. Let's see what happens. Does Spotify at some point more clips unsurface, something that finally puts him over the edge? We'll see. And this is where things get interesting because he does show remorse and talks about this actually was impressive. Audience member asked him what makes him the most nervous. And he said, being a bad person. For real, I try to do my best. And then they talk about the fact that in an earlier podcast on Tuesday, he talked about this being a political hit job. And he discussed with comic Akash Singh, in a lot of ways, this is a relief, Rogan said. The video of the no word had always been out there. This is a political hit job. They're taking all this stuff I've ever said. They're taking all the stuff that I've ever said that's wrong and smushing it all together. It's good because it makes me address some stuff that I really wish wasn't out there. Rogan also pushed back on right-wing criticism of his recent apology, noting, you should apologize if you regret something. I do think you have to be careful not to apologize for nonsense. And I think he's right there, right? I think that's the line. Trump's trying to say it's nonsense, but I think this makes me happier to support Joe because he's acknowledging, yeah, I said some stupid shit I shouldn't have said. This isn't some like woke nonsense. This was racism. And what I said was it was ignorant and racist, and I feel gross that exists. And to me, right, that's what you should feel like to show that, okay, he's changed and knows it's wrong, at least in my opinion. Seeing assured, real life is people who know you and you're a great guy. On a podcast where you're talking for hours on end, I have said shit about every demographic of human beings possible, and I regret every one that was like not funny. The punishment is everybody hears it, and I'm an asshole, but I can't stop shooting. I can't stop swinging. Over time, people will understand you, Rogan said. They know you. If you misstep, they know what you're trying to do. You're not a vicious person. You're just trying to be funny. And so there we get to some of the comments. But so there you go. Interesting new comments coming in from Rogan. I think he's really just sticking to where he's at, but he's also still now more confidently to expose the selective outrage, which is valid. Some people get mad that's happening. Like, how dare you do that to distract from the actual racism? But I feel like he's addressed the racism. Sadly, this is all proof of they don't want an apology. They want him removed, and they want him pushed from society. He's apologized. He's showing remorse. He's explaining why. He doesn't want to do it. He hasn't done it recently. He's saying he's changing. What else do we fucking expect from him, Steph, at this point? I think, at this point, he can start doing what Spotify's got his back. You can start calling out some of the hypocrisy and keep doing what you're doing and just be better in the future to make sure you're not saying stupid shit that you shouldn't say. What do you think of all this? Do you like what he's saying here?
Yeah, I do. Because he's kind of like, do I think his apology in regards to the no word is great? No, I don't think it's an apology. At the end of the day, if you're saying but and you're trying to justify the situation in the first place, then it's not an apology at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned. However, on this side of things, taking it on its merit, exactly what I've said, if you don't like me, don't watch me. It's my show. I've got freedom. I'm going to do what I want. And guess what? I ain't a doctor. If you're taking advice from me, what the deuce? Why are you taking advice from me? I ain't a doctor. Oh my goodness. And I'm sorry, but people that are taking medical advice from Joe Rogan, all I'm going to say is Darwinism, baby, can be a mofo. And it's survival of the fittest, okay? But also you gotta be smart. And I'm sorry, but if you're taking advice, medical advice from Joe Rogan, I'm gonna put it out there. I'm sorry, but that ain't a smart thing to do. He ain't a doctor. He doesn't have a PhD at the end, right? He's an entertainer, a podcaster, an MMA fight commentator. And you're gonna take Bud Light advice from that dude?
It's interesting too, because you had said it like you don't always take a doctor's advice right away, right? Sometimes you get a second opinion. Like if something serious happens, you can still get a second opinion, even with doctors. So this idea that Joe Rogan's the only authority to his listeners, like, is so stupid to me. Like, are there idiots in the world? Yeah, and I'm sorry, exactly. I'm with you, Steph. If you are taking medical advice from Joe Rogan, the host of Fear Factor, and it's like, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Now, could you listen to him and say, "Oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna look into that." Okay, but people should be allowed to do that. There's a big difference between educating yourself and listening to other guests and other points of view. And all right, well, Joe Rogan said this worked for him. I'm gonna look into this. Look. That's their rights. We're allowed to do that. But as long as everyone is aware, like, this is not medical advice, this isn't something you're supposed to do or being told to do. I don't know what else we can do as a society. Enough is enough. Like, it is what it is. You don't like them. I get it. People don't like them. But my God, isn't there more important shit happening in the world than Joe Rogan? Like, there's so much more important shit happening with politics and the world and everything and across the gate. Why are they still doing this? There's more, even, I think, more awful stuff happening, like, just in pop culture and everything. Like, the stuff that's happening with Guilty Maxwell is going to retrial. Why aren't we getting that more exposed? Prince Andrew, hello, like, there's a lot of shit out in the world that's like, where's all your outrage on this shit? No one cares. No one's watching it. Hell, Britney Spears, the thing we talked about yesterday with Sam Williams, like human trafficking is happening through conservatorships. No one wants to fucking talk about or watch those videos, but they'll all rally together and keep bashing Joe Rogan because they just don't want to not watch something they already are watching. I don't get it. It's so irritating. It's so frustrating. But yeah, anyway, the reality check is, look, if you don't like Joe Rogan, great. And I'm not here to tell you to like Joe Rogan. I like Joe Rogan sometimes. I like watching other points of views. I think he said some stupid shit in the past, but we all have. I've said a ton of stupid shit in my past. It's not fair to judge him from that. He said some racist stuff, and I'm glad we addressed it. I'm glad he addressed it. And it's up to people if they want to accept his apology or not. And that's him. He's got to deal with that, right? It doesn't affect me at all. I've accepted his apology. I know others have. I know other black people have. All types of people have accepted his apology. So it's not like everybody's against him in any demographic. It's just some people are and some people aren't. But there you go. That's the latest update. Anything else you want to add on this before I clip this, Steph?
Taking medical advice from Joe Rogan, I'll tell you something. In the game of Darwinism, you would lose. So, yeah, listen to him, get a different perspective, of course. But, yeah, if you want to get medical advice, go to the people that are actually trained and have the qualifications to be able to provide such advice. So, I don't know, you don't die from the wrong advice from people that are not trained and don't know pretty much what the hell they're talking about to a certain extent. So, yeah, want any medical advice? Go to your damn doctor. Want to be entertained? Go to Joe Rogan. Boom.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was trying to find it and I couldn't find the video. But just to wrap up, India.Arie, who was one of the first ones who sort of put out the comments that Joe did, and I honestly thought she covered it pretty eloquently. She's like, she played the clips, they made her uncomfortable, she didn't like it. She's like, look, I don't know if I don't. She even admitted, like, I don't know the context. I kind of don't care about the context. My fight is, you paid $100 million for this man, and you pay us pennies. I don't want take my stuff off your platform. I don't want my music, which is the backbone of your organization, to pay for people like this because I don't like it. And I thought she handled it well. I thought she said it nicely, respectfully, and she said it. Anyway, fast forward, she accepted the apology that Joe put out there. She accepted the apology, and I was trying to find the video. She was on CNN saying, look, I think I accepted it. Guess what happened? They're all mad at her for accepting Joe's apology. Like, It never ends. It never ends. It's about my integrity. After India.Arie addresses the backlash after accepting Joe Rogan's apology. Like, Steph, this is insane. You can't even accept someone's apology now. When you, why can't she accept the apology? Why can't she do it? I don't understand. After calling out media personality Joe Rogan, it was on Don Lemon, right? During an appearance of Don Lemon, the singer stated she doesn't think Joe Rogan is racist for using the N-word. I think he's insensitive for using it, so just don't. She told Lemon on February 7th. I have to say, I did think he did a fine job with his apology, she said. He said a lot of the things I would want to hear someone say. The thing that stuck out for me most was when he said, it's not my word to use. And I think changed behavior is what we're really looking for. I mean, yes, exactly. Like, she was mad. She didn't like it, but she's listening, right? She's like, is he changed? Is he saying the right things? And I heard him too. And I'm glad to hear someone like her, who was so upset and was respectful about it, come out and say this as well, because it makes me, I'm not crazy. There are other smart people who are listening and being fair about this. Songwriter's remarks, though, garnered criticism from fans who took their social media to express their disappointment over the star seemingly forgiving Rogan despite previously sharing multiple critical assessments about. Incident even triggered the Stay Love singer to remove her music and show from Spotify. She refused to generate money that pays for this, blah, 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 blah. I covered all that. Fans were suspicious of the statements. Many thought she was forced to give the statement. Blah, 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 blah. Arie then later returned to social media where she once again clarified her statement. This conversation about Spotify, Joe Rogan, me, it's not about Spotify or Joe Rogan. It's about my integrity. It's about being who I am inside, aligning with who I am outside. She doubled down on her earlier statements and know that she never said the comedian was racist. On Instagram, she said she thinks he did well with his apology, but found some of it disingenuous, but nonetheless accepted it. So again, the fact that she can't even have an apology, Steph, out there without people giving her backlash just shows how fucking crazy the world has become. Well, there you go. I mean, do you want to comment on this before I clip it? Does this shock you?
No. She accepted the apology. And why are people so angry that she accepted the apology? It's her own personal right and her own personal freedom to accept an apology or not, just as it's your personal right and freedom to accept the apology or not. If you don't accept the apology, fair play. If she does, fair play. Like, her accepting the apology, how is that making the world worse? If anything, right, you know, a lot of religious folk, let's say, turn around and say, you know, forgiveness, 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 right? And I bet a portion of that cancel culture mob is on the religious side. And I'm going to say this. You bloody hypocrites, you religious hypocrites, for going after India.Arie for her accepting an apology when you feel that she shouldn't. Yet religion's all about forgiveness, blah, blah, blah. No, F you lot at the end of the day. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Bugger off. No, let her accept the apology, just as we'll let you not accept the apology. Ugh. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. I can't. Why? People so outraged about her accepting the apology, just as much as that they're outraged that Joe Rogan said the no word.
I don't get it, man.
How is that? How is the same outrage?
What the are you doing, man?
Yes. Yes. What the deuce? Guys, like, get your freaking heads examined. If you are one of those that are outraged that she accepted the apology, I'm sorry, but you need your heads examined. Something's not right in the head there. Really, really not right.
Imagine that slope, right? It's like, now you can't do anything unless the audience accepts it, Steph. You can't forgive someone unless we agree with you. You can't be mad at someone unless we forget. You know, like that is cancel culture. That is the culture we are currently stuck in. It's a mob mentality of social media justice where people feel empowered by these movements, and there's no reality or rhyme or reason. It's just like whatever the group consensus, the group think is, they will just keep going. And so India.Arie is like taps her toe into this water and gets a lot of support and is upset. And I think she was allowed to be upset, right? And then she, as a smart, intelligent woman, hears it all out, listens to Joe and goes, you know what? All right, I accept it. I think he did some good things in that apology. And then goes to tell her base, like hopes to calm them down. And the base who's all riled up is like, no, we're not, no, you're wrong. He, blah, blah. It's like, I just can't even imagine how people just keep trying to tell us what to think or do or accept. I'm over it. Enough is enough. We're not going to do that here. If you are like that and you agree, why don't you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts. Stick around because we're going to call out this bullshit every time it happens. Couldn't do it without all you amazing members, support. So thank you for your support. Keep it coming. I see so much amazing support. Miss Ashley, everybody else, I'm going to get your comments in a second, but I'm clipping this for the update. We got lots more to talk about live with Steph the Alternate. Make sure if you haven't already, go subscribe to Steph the Alternate as well because she's got a lot of good takes you're not going to miss. And we will keep helping you guys walking down that middle line, calling out all this bullshit because Look, you can disagree with Joe Rogan. You don't have to support Joe Rogan, but stop trying to cancel Joe Rogan. Enough. We can't stop free speech. It is what it is, especially if someone has remorse and actually tries to right their wrongs. Jesus, people are impossible these days. It's insufferable. And if you're watching later, go become a member. You can watch the full stream. If you're watching live, we're coming right back.